I purchased the FSD subscription 3 months ago, and today I'm going to give you an overview of the final 2 features. If you haven't seen my other FSD videos, make sure to check those out as I go over each feature, so you don't have to buy FSD yourself for $200 a month to see if it's really worth it. Today, I'm going to go over Navigate on Autopilot and Auto Lane Change. Navigate on Autopilot actively guides your car from a highway's on-ramp to the off-ramp, including suggesting lane changes, navigating interchanges, automatically engaging the turn signal, and taking the correct exit. Auto lane change can happen during Navigate on Autopilot or by itself. Auto lane change assists in moving to an adjacent lane on the highway when auto steer is engaged. The driver can also prompt an auto lane change. Let's talk about auto lane change first. This is probably my favorite feature of FSD. It worked really well for me, and I had no doubt that it would in fact change lanes. Some of the other features are not completely reliable, but auto lane change works so well, and I wish this feature just came with the car instead of being in the FSD package. I did end up using this feature the most out of any other feature because I did have the confidence in it that it would work successfully. It takes a bit of the stress out of changing lanes on the highway, but I will also mention that I was not driving on busy highways. Where I live, the highways just aren't super busy, so let me know in the comments down below how your experience was with it if you had tried it on a busier highway. When I did try to change lanes around other cars, it did seem to notice the cars around me and not change lanes till they were far enough away. One thing I have noticed about the navigation in general is that the 3D renderings of the cars aren't always correct, especially if it's a larger truck or a truck with a trailer. Lane changing around these types of vehicles would make me feel a tad nervous since the car is already confused by them and how much space they occupy. I would never trust Autopilot on its own, and I do always check my mirrors before using it. I have had some close calls with FSD, and I don't completely trust it at this time, even this feature. Overall, the auto lane change worked pretty well, and I did enjoy using it. It was surprisingly smooth when moving over, and I do like how the screen will show you where the car is actually going to go in the next lane. This way it shows the driver that the lane change is safe before actually executing the feature. This did add to my confidence in it and made me feel like it was a little bit more reliable and planned. I also like that if the car is suggesting a lane change, then the driver must confirm the change. This also makes me feel like I'm just still in control of the car itself and just adds to the safety of the feature as well. It's nice that the car can detect when lane changing is appropriate, and the car did suggest changing lanes more often than I expected it to. Next, we have Navigate on Autopilot. I had some varying experiences with this one. The first time I tried using it, it tried to take the wrong exit. I wasn't able to get this one on video, but it did scare me quite a bit because it swerved the car over in almost like a panic mode, and I had to take over really quickly so I didn't miss my exit. I don't have as much confidence in this feature, but I did end up having some decent experiences with it. My main concern is how quickly the car takes sharp turns. I am a very cautious driver, and I wish there was a setting to change how fast the car takes the ramps. If the ramp just gradually eased off the highway, then the speed seemed fine. But if it was really sharp, like a very sharp curve, then the car just went way too fast for my liking, and I had to manually slow it down. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the car did end up taking a few wrong exits, which was strange to me because on the map it seemed to know where it was going. Now the exits were kind of close to each other, so maybe it just got confused with the two, but this was really scary when it just jerked off to the wrong exit without much of a warning. It ended up doing this a few times, but did take some of the exits successfully as well. I'm not really sure. It did take the exit. When it did take the wrong one, it was still showing that it was going to take the correct one and then would just swerve off and take the wrong one. So this was a little scary, but it only happened a couple times. One successful component of Navigate on Autopilot was changing lanes to get to the exit. Like in the traditional auto lane change, using this feature during Navigate on Autopilot was successful. The car again would show you where it was changing lanes and did so in a timely manner before the exit. This was probably the component of Navigate on Autopilot that I had the most confidence in. Another thing that made me nervous about this feature is that on some of the exits, it would quit the Navigate on Autopilot mid-turn. This felt a bit dangerous because the driver thinks that the car has it under control, and then the Navigate on Autopilot would just stop on the curve. And then the driver would have to take over, and then they could accidentally overcorrect when taking over. Navigate on Autopilot should end after exiting the ramp, and it did this for most of the exits, but there were a few where it just quit mid-exit. And then overall, Navigate on Autopilot is a feature that I would personally just not use at this time. I think if it was less buggy and I felt like I could trust it, then I would definitely use it. But at this time, it increased my anxiety instead of making driving easier. I could definitely see myself using it. I hope that Tesla continues to work and improve this feature, but today it just does not seem road ready. Let me know in the comments down below your experience with Navigate on Autopilot and auto lane change. Do you think it's reliable? If you found this video helpful, please give me a like down below, as that really helps out my channel. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're interested in learning more about Teslas. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.